What are you doing?
Oh my god.
I don't even know what's going on.
Hey there, Taurus. This is your weekly reading for the week of November 23rd. I'm sorry about the confusion as to where these videos are going to be uploaded to. We had to sort that out. So you probably noticed that all 700 and something plus videos on my other channel, Rita Yanez, are gone. It was not a glitch on the part of YouTube or any Google product whatsoever. They're great. Their developers are great. Their products are fantastic. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without everything Google. I just adore them. And yes, this was an issue with another tool that had nothing to do with them. You'll get more information that's actually going to be very helpful for YouTube creators in your age group. We'll be giving that information to you straight next year. So look for that. We'll explain everything then. So with that said, I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. No matter where you are in the world, we know that the world needs a lot of love and hugs right now. You guys are the most loving group. Your generation is the only hope. Honestly, I can say this because I used to be your age. Now I'm almost 50. You guys are the only hope we have. We've done the best we could to correct problems and to pave the way for you, which is really more like rolling out the red carpet because you guys come in there and shebang, you make everything happen. So don't forget that you're very, very powerful healers. You guys, very powerful. Don't ever forget your birthright is to heal not only the planet, but to heal people, cultures, creatures. You can do it all. So with that said, I want to apologize again for the confusion with the videos and to remind you that everything I do is because I love you and I care about you. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be doing this. You know, I don't get paid for this, and no revenue, that comes from any kind of YouTube channel is enough to make up for the time that it takes for me to do. It's because I'm here to serve you guys and to be part of whatever illumination you need to move forward to help the rest of us and all the generations that are coming in after you. So with that said, my friends, on Monday, the card that you've drawn is a Nine of Swords in reverse. Thanksgiving is actually kind of hard on you guys. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of you come from homes where the parents are divorced, or maybe they were never married, or you were raised by foster families or multiple families, what we call the tribe kind of raising people. That's the way the Indians used to do it. And it takes an entire village to raise a child. And it was actually, in my opinion, very, very much a part of what a lot of us incorporated into raising children. When I was a kid in LA, if you didn't get chewed out by somebody else's mom before your mom got to you, it was going to be somebody's mom. And so just remember then that this means that you guys have a lot more dynamics to deal with, because you might not have a choice as to where you want to go. Maybe you're too young to make the choice. Maybe nobody's listening to you. Do the best you can to get through it, to be a good child, to be a good human, really, to respect whatever the rules and authority are. One day you'll get to make all of these decisions on your own. I promise you. I promise you. So just do what you need to do. Be love, be peace, be harmony. Don't get involved in the adults' dramas. You don't want it. It's stinking drama. So just sit there very patiently. And if somebody tries to reel you into a problem, a discussion or something at a dinner table, just say, I just don't think I'm old enough to have formed an opinion. And even if you do have your own opinion, shh, because you're probably not going to get the respect that you deserve, okay? So remember, sometimes it's better to just not get involved, to not give your opinion, to not fight back, because it's almost like a losing battle. And I don't mean to sound disappointing, okay? It's just, that even if you give your opinion, there could be at least one smart mouth that says, you're a kid, what do you know? Well, from your perspective what's going on. It's a valid perspective. If I slipped into your body, I'd be in your perspective as well, but we can't do that. We almost have to make a physical concerted effort to sit in somebody else's corner to see things from their point of view. They don't really realize how much you're already doing this. So again, keep the peace, keep the harmony. Don't try to solve other people's problems. Don't try to even be the peacemaker. I had to do that once in my uncle's house. Let me tell you something. If my niece would have hit me when she was out of control, actually she's my cousin, not my niece, my uncle's daughter, it was like a redneck fight, and none of these people are rednecks. I was there with my ex-husband and my family. We're visiting. My cousin is going to go out. Her dad gets a weird feeling and goes out after her and hauls her butt back in because she was about to get in a vehicle with 4 guys. Probably not the smartest thing to do. And then her mother was spouting off all this stuff about, she is just going out with her friends. And my uncle's like, I'm not letting her get in a car with 4 guys. And then she went like crazy, tried to hit my uncle. I'm pushing her down on the ground. I had to growl at her and tell her, I had to have my ex-husband take the kids out of the house. I was sick for 3 days after their mess. And I put her on the ground and I told her to calm her ass down, and that if she threatened my uncle or tried to hit him, I was going to take her out. Her mom's not well, okay? We've always known that. They're divorced now and everything. But I remember then when my uncle has a point and he was saying, you don't let me parent her. How can I parent her? You don't let me parent her. And then she went and threw herself on her bed saying, because you don't love me anymore. And then my uncle went and packed a suitcase. I'm like, what the hell? After that, I learned I had to stay out of their mess because for 3 days I was sick, what we would call typically a psychic illness, because of the dysfunction there, where it was everybody's fault because they weren't raising my cousin right. Anyway, overprivileged, overspoiled, overdone. I mean, I had to stand there once with that same aunt-in-law saying that she let her daughter get some weird freaking piercing because she said she was going to let her do whatever she wanted to do to have the freedom that she didn't have. And I'm like, wow, that'll really work, right? So these are the kind of dysfunctions that could happen this time of year. So that's why I'm saying I learned from that to basically never involve myself. I should have turned around, walked out the door, and called the police. That's what I should have done. That way the police can do their job and I wouldn't have been sick for 3 days. And big mess, believe it. So on Tuesday, we have the 6 of Swords in reverse. This is a card that's talking about where you feel like what's the tagline for this card? In reverse, out of the frying pan into the fire. So you're probably going to watch a situation that's already presented itself before. It's probably going to have to do with your being unhappy about having to go to some family function or not being able to do a thing or not being able to bring a boyfriend or a girlfriend, that kind of mess. I'm telling you, this will pass very quickly. So do not get yourself in a state. Do not go blogging about it or Facebooking or FaceTiming, Vining it, and then getting caught and having your internet access taken away from you. You'll only hurt yourself for a moment of spouting and venting, even as worth it as it could be. And don't go creating messages. Don't be writing this stuff down, your feelings. I mean, unless you've got a place where nobody can get to it, because what happens? Somebody inadvertently seems to always find. Happened to me with a damn diary when I was 15 years old. Trust me, it was not good. The result was not good. So hear me on this, okay? I'm telling you, I know what it's like. So shh, because the swords are all about what? Communication. So shh. Wednesday, we have the Justice card upright. So even if something's going on that you don't like or somebody else doesn't like, you got warring parents, that is the worst ever. Just understand that fairness will prevail. Whatever happens, whatever comes of all of this mess, is going to be fair. So for those of you that don't have any dysfunction, maybe you come from some quote unquote perfect family, Norman Rockwell, Mormon types, whatever it is, just understand that it is okay. That maybe you're going to see some other people having their minor explosions because you're not used to any. I know like one Mormon family, these people are like beyond perfect. I like the dad, a bishop, loved to hear my stories. And when I was like, I have nothing really relevant, to tell you, he was like, I want to know what your experiences were. I've never experienced anything. And I totally understood it, that he didn't know what it was like to be entrenched in the physical world because he was very sheltered and his family's very sheltered and beautiful, wonderful, angelic people. I love them. But the truth is not everybody has the same experience. So remember, there could be somebody going through a really wild and crazy and upsetting family dysfunction for Thanksgiving that seems to always happen because what have I been telling you about? Uncle Joe, the one who shows up with the beer, or somebody cracks open a bottle of whiskey or tequila. Like that's a good idea? Mixing alcohol with family? No. I hope they have grape juice. So on Thursday, we've got the Seven of Cups, which is where I think for you guys, it's more appropriate to use this card energy to fantasize, to be creative, to take yourself out of your location physically, if you can get to another room, or at least mentally using your creative skills to daydream. You shouldn't be in school probably this Friday. Most likely, most of you will not be anyway. So do take a time out to daydream. Do wish for greater things. Maybe you see this mess and you say to yourself, you know what? When I'm an adult and I'm part of a family, or I have my own family, we will not be having these ghetto shindigs where everybody starts fighting. It won't happen. And so those are the good things for you to think about. The adults won't really have that energy. They're going to be having to be more realistic. You guys are entitled to dream it away, think it away, create it away, draw it away, sing it away, create something with that energy because you've got all of the ability to do that. On Friday, we've got the Four of Cups in reverse, and this is where you're actually making peace for, lack of a better word, difficult situations that you've been in. And it could be that you're just not being heard. Maybe you're like, look, I just have a point of view. I say my opinion, or you say, what do you want to do on Thanksgiving? And I say, well, I'd like to see my grandma. And then they tell you, no, we're not going to see your grandma. And it's like, God, then why'd you even ask me? So I think this is where you're making peace with it and understanding, where's the real freedom, my dear? College, 18 years old. You go to college. You stay put. You get your degrees and whatever you freaking feel like it. That's your freedom. You're going to make your future all on your own, and it will be up to you to do it. You can't say, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not active enough. I'm just not. You can tell that to your counselor at the college. They will help you out. That's if they don't already get you some counseling at the college to help you figure out why you don't feel good about yourself. You need an education. That gives you freedom. Education gives you more room to get a better job, to take better care of yourself, to not have to rely on anybody. Then, if you want to spend all of Thanksgiving and every Christmas and every New Year's with your granny, guess what? You can get on a plane and get there because you can afford it. Don't forget what I'm telling you. That's your freedom. Saturday, we have the King of Swords. And for you guys, this is going to be a person in authority over you. So very likely, more than usual, this card is going to represent a person who makes the rules around you. You know how usually I tell you guys that with you all, I say that even a person who's a little bit older than you, or they're younger and they come off more mature, could actually be showing up in your perspective as a king or queen. Well, in this case, I really feel, because of the astrology, that this is actually going to be a person in authority. Why do I say it this time? Okay, so if we put Taurus on the ascendant, okay, which we put Taurus over the first house in astrology, and you know that it's split into 12 slices of the astrology pie or pizza, each of them ruling a different sector of life, multiple sectors actually. So that full moon is in your second solar house. The full moon in Gemini is today while I'm recording this, in Gemini. That's your solar second house. The reason why I use solar astrology is because I don't know where and when you were born. And if I have your birth time and place, or if you can get it, find any number of tools on the internet. There's one on my website, ritayanez.com, that's free. I know my videos are not showing up, and like I said, I'm working on fixing all of that. We all are. In Gemini, I have to put Taurus on your first house, so Gemini becomes the natural second house. So the full moon there is sitting across the sky from Saturn and Sagittarius, which is your solar eighth house, meaning, again, we're putting your sun sign on the ascendant and starting to count counterclockwise from there. Saturn is staring over at Gemini across the sky, and not only is Saturn over there, but the sun is with it, and the sun is opposing that moon in Gemini. That's a clash. It's almost a clash of the titans. So there are some other elements of astrology that are making things a little difficult this week, a little more than difficult for a lot of people. Every Cancer is affected every time the moon is full. Cancer rising can feel that slightly as well. But, we're all sensitized by it because it's just a difficult moon, okay? The nodes have now shifted into Virgo and Pisces. So for your solar area, that's your 5th and 11th house. So there could be a personal issue, an emotional issue, a family issue, something going on in the family as well, because we've just had those nodes shift. They spend about 18 months. And they're not an object, it's a mathematical location, basically. Then the 11th house, it is ruled by Pisces, and your 5th is ruled by Virgo and solar astrology, because I don't see your natal chart. So it tells us also that there's something sensitized there because Neptune is going direct. So we're kind of taking off the rose-colored glasses during a week that's especially sensitive. So just keep that in mind. There's somebody who may say something or throw down some rules you don't like. Again, I'm going to suggest what? It will benefit you. It will benefit you. It's not worth getting worked up over. These things are going to pass very quickly. Every time you try to fight the authority that your family or your guardians are, the potential is very strong that they will clamp down on you more. They don't mean it to hurt you. In most cases, they don't understand. They're doing the best they can. You got to forgive it because it's not worth grudging it, okay? But they may not understand. They may have even freaking forgotten what it was like when they were your age. Maybe they don't want to acknowledge. I freaking acknowledge it because it is fresh in my mind what I was going through from the moment that I turned 12 when my parents divorced and then my mom was dating, and just a freaking disaster. And this disaster wasn't over. My stepdad came after me again to abuse me some more. As an adult, you guys, I'm almost 50 years old, and my stepdad was still up to it. And I finally had to completely remove myself from my mother's home and life. She comes and visits me because I can't go over there to be abused or to let my kids be abused. So it's very fresh in my mind, everything I went through. That's part of what I do, why I do it for you guys, because I want to be there for you. There could be look, even if I only help one person ever in my life, one young person who hears one thing that I say, like college. You got to go there. It's party central. It's fun. You get to do things you want to do, study what you want to learn, be what you want to be. If I can only get that through one person, then my job has been worth it, and everything I've suffered has been worth it too. Okay, I know where you're coming from. Sunday, we've got the death card in reverse. So there's a situation here that I want to say, like I did for the adults, that there's a transformation occurring, that they're resisting. For you guys, you're not resisting it. It's kind of like the environment is making it difficult for you to execute this transformation, this growth into a next level. Maybe it's an experience you want. Maybe it's a hobby or an objective you have that you either can't get the support for, or there isn't the money for. You want to be in a relationship and your parents are not letting you. There's something here that will change no matter what. Eventually, look, you get older every day, right? Birthday every year. It flies by, so just make the most of every day. Enjoy every day. Don't grow up too quick. At least not into the burdensome world. If you know people that have had children accidentally, come into their lives, well, they wouldn't have planned it otherwise, or hopefully they didn't think that, because it immediately changes your life and you're not as free as you were. That's why, believe it or not, I tell people not even to have kids until they're in their 30s. That sounds like old. No, it isn't, because I was the type of person, I had my first at turning 26, and I realized I should have been more like 36. And now genetically and physically, we've got better health practices, better nutrition standards, more assistance, coaching, psychology, help in so many different ways that people really don't have a reason to be having babies until they're in their 30s, because then at that point their career's set. They probably have bought a house, they've got cars, they've got nursery, they're able to stay home with the baby or work from home. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it all easier. So yeah, sometimes there are things that we want to fight against, the things, the conditions, the people, the situations, even the age group. You can't help being a teenager. You're supposed to have fun with this, okay? But you know, we can't speed the clock up and turn you 18 overnight. In some states, you can't even emancipate because it isn't legal, okay? And in some states where it is legal, you have to prove that physically, emotionally, psychologically, financially, and everything, that you can take care of yourself. And most of the time, it isn't granted. It's very, very rare that it's granted. So we can't speed it up. So just know that the transformation is coming. You don't have to fear that it's going to be snatched away from you, that you're not going to be able to have your own life, that you're not going to be able to live your own dreams, to do what you want to do. You will. You will. But remember that I'm going to tell you something that I wish I would have had somebody sensitive enough to tell me, that I needed somebody to talk to, and there was no one there. No one. I had no one. No one. When I tell you I had no one, I had no one. And sometimes you have to be your own best friend. And you have to give yourself advice like the big brother or big sister you wish you had. And if that's the case, I want you to remember that there is a big brother or big sister in your life. It's you. It's that part of you that is psychic, that is sensitive, that is elevated. It's that part of you that can be at peace, that can use the gifts that you were given just as a birthright, your generation. You are also sensitive and psychic, so healing, that you may have to be your own best friend. And don't think that that's too lonely, because there could be somebody else in your life, Taurus, that is going to really need a best friend, and it's going to be you. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful week. Be gentle on yourselves.